Lights, camera, action.
Go. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Olga is here. For those of you who haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the bell as well to get the latest notifications about the videos I post out there for you guys. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I post 3 videos per week. It's not Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it actually just happens to be 3 videos per week. Sometimes I do one on Monday, sometimes I do my first one on Wednesday, and then they kind of creep up on me Thursday and Friday. Basically, I cannot uphold to anything specific like that. I can just get 3 videos per week because your girl has a job and I kind of have other responsibilities. This is as good as it gets. But nevertheless, there are going to be always 3 videos per week. Anyways, today's video is going to be about beauty trends, or you can call them makeup trends, that I used to do that I no longer do, and neither do I recommend them anymore. Why am I making this video? Because everything is changing. We are the work in progress. Everything we learn, makeup trends, health, beauty trends, all of these things are changing. So something that might have been true or good to do 6 months ago or a year ago might not necessarily be anymore. And if something has changed, I feel obligated to report to you, because this is a beauty and makeup channel, and if something changed in my makeup routine, I need to let you know. So I am going to attach like a small caption corner of my video on threading eyebrows that I had done a long time ago, like in the very beginning. I want to say it was August of last year. In the description of that video, I'm going to put a link to this video, so those of you who would have found that video need to know that the information and the time frame has gone by and information has changed, and I need to share that with you. And so in this video I'm going to be talking about the makeup trends or beauty trends, you can call them either or, that I no longer do, and neither do I recommend these to you, and I'll explain why that is. The first one, as you might have guessed, is on threading. The technique is beautiful. Threading is something that has really long past, goes all the way to Egypt, India. Women thread eyebrows or unwanted facial hair like mustache or sideburns. It's a beautiful method. Just because I decided not to do it doesn't mean that the method is no longer good. I will explain to you the reasons behind my decision. For many years I have been known to thread my eyebrows. I had gone to the brow bar where a professional lady used to thread my eyebrows beautifully. I could pride myself on perfect eyebrows. I never needed to fill them in, or maybe fill them in a little bit in the corners, but I always had the perfect shape. However, when she moved out from the mall and then we moved and all of that, things changed, and I no longer was able to go to her salon, and then she moved again. I just wasn't able to go to that part of the town, so I started learning how to thread them myself. After a couple of unfortunate attempts and threading the wrong hairs, and then of course I did have like a learning curve, and I learned how to thread my own eyebrows. This is the method that you see in my old video if you want to check that out. You can totally do it yourself at home, but you have to understand that the errors that you make are going to be tenfold. So if you use regular tweezers and you pluck one hair that is wrong, you're done. But if you have like a figure eight of a thread going in your hands and you are really taking a good portion of your hairs out from your eyebrows, you need to be very careful, because in one instant you might have a devastating mistake where you had accidentally taken out like completely good hairs that now you are trying to deal with. Oh my gosh, how do I fill this in? Will they ever grow back? And unfortunately, it's like a Murphy's Law. It's like this: the hair that I don't want grows back all the time around my eyebrows, but the hairs that I have lost due to these pluckings and threading that before I learned how to thread properly. That is really a big deal because those hairs will like never grow back. I don't know what that is, but I think we all have experienced that to the lesser or greater degree when you have plucked a wrong hair from the eyebrow and then it's gone. It's just gone. You will always have something grow here, 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 but like right here, nothing. But it's not even the main reason why I stopped threading. Like in between, I was like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to thread them myself, even though I learned how to do it and I became decent at it on my own self. Like I would never dare to thread anybody else's eyebrows because A, I'm not certified to do that, B, I'm self-taught, which means I don't know, like I could trust myself with myself, but if I made a mistake on somebody else's eyebrows, I would feel horrible. Long story short, I would get sometimes tired and go to the brow bar that you can find in the mall. It's like in our mall, it's right by Macy's, and I don't mean to trash the quality of their work. The quality of their work was not as good as the quality I was getting from that Indian lady, which has moved into a completely different side of town, and now, well, I don't live there. It's kind of a different side of town. I don't drive. Asking my husband to take me there, it's just it's nuts. So, and I would go to this place in the mall, which sometimes I would get an okay job, other times it would be awful, and it was like back and forth, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm just done. So I stopped threading altogether, and what I do these days is I'm just trying to preserve what I have, because if I continue on this path, then I would have no eyebrows, right? And even though some people can rock that look, I still would like to have some eyebrows. What I use is something like this. I just get rid of the unwanted hairs around the area, and God forbid I don't go too close, and then I just pluck individual hairs out if they're really like an intruder right here or right here. And basically I fill them in, I kind of leave it all alone, and then I do pluck this area right here, but then I have a controlled area and I can work with that. In terms of mustache, I no longer do threading on my upper lip. Doing it myself, sometimes I would have a good job, other times I would skip and then I would have some hairs left over here. I basically just leave it as it is. Again, I shave it off with this kind of a device, or you can use like a safety razor, something like that, and I'm going to attach the picture because I can't remember what you call those at the moment, but basically you can use them to take care of your peach fuzz and all of that. Why I do not thread? Because it causes irritation. Even though I could apply some aloe or witch hazel or something, the skin gets irritated. Basically, you have removed the hair with its follicle out of your skin, and you know, you can't really go with foundation on top of that because that would immediately put you at risk for developing infection or clogged pores or irritation. So these are kind of the issues that I was dealing with because I am wearing foundation on a daily basis. I cannot really be threading. The point I'm trying to make is I no longer recommend threading for myself, or if you are doing it and you are successful and you are able to, you know, have it work for you, well then great. But from my perspective, no. And another reason why not is because if you go to the salon, that they will ask you, and if you haven't done this, pay attention because this is like super important, especially if you want to wear elaborate eye makeup or be able to do like really cool eyelid related makeup. And why this is important, just hear me out. So what they will ask you to do in these threading brow bars is that they will say place your, like if they're going to be working on this eye right here, they'll say place your hand right here and pull your forehead up, and then basically they'll ask you to close your eye and pull it down. So initially you're like really stretching your skin on your upper eyelid so that they can get that access with their thread and so that they can really give you that lift. But the problem is, if with time, if you keep doing that sort of thing, like if you keep pulling your forehead that way and you're stretching your eyelid down this way, then you run the risk of having a lot of the flappy type of lid. So basically, if you haven't had a hooded eye, you will probably develop it, or at least you would have some sagging in your skin. So this is like a very important thing that I wanted to share with you, because if you're 20 and maybe you had gone to brow bar once or twice, maybe it's not a big deal, but when you are closer to 40, you start noticing all of these little changes and fine lines, and if something changes with your eyelids, like for the longest time I was like really having trouble applying eyeshadow because I was really dealing with sort of like a hooded eye situation. And then I was thinking, why am I even dealing with this? I know I don't think I have hooded eyes, well maybe I do, but not to that extent. And that was because I kept stretching, like if they, and I was doing it fairly frequently. I would go to brow bars every 3 weeks and really be like stretching that area right here so that the brow would go up. You're laying in the chair, you have it like going this way, and then you're stretching your eyelid down, and that really puts you at risk for developing a very kind of like wrinkly eyelid with excess skin in there. And then if you want to do these fancy cut creases, and if you want to wear winged eyeliner, you possibly are not going to be able to in a little bit, because then you would have all of the skin that you're dealing with on your eyelid. I'm not a doctor, so I can't like back this up 100%. I just wanted to give you like a common sense warning, because like even when we wash our faces or we apply makeup, we're not like dragging our face down, do we? Because gravity is doing it all for us. We want to kind of be like gently patting our faces. So like if I'm dragging it down, I'm sort of helping it, and that's what I wanted to warn you about. Hence, I no longer do threading, and I no longer recommend threading. And the reason I don't thread the mustache is because, again, it can cause irritation. Waxing, no. Threading, no. Maybe a little bit of the shaving, and even then, like, be super duper careful, apply shaving cream. You need to have something that allows the blade to slide nicely, because you do not want to cause a shave burn or something like that. If you still want to continue doing threading or waxing or shaving, make sure you do not do, like in your skincare routine, do not apply acids that evening. AHA, or like if you do any kind of like glycolic acid, do not apply that on your freshly shaved or freshly plucked face, because you're going to cause irritation. It's a chemical exfoliation, you know, and then you already have like micro wounds on your face from what you were doing before. So that's why you want to give your skin a break. Wait a day or two and then start applying acids. Also, I would stay away from like foundations, especially if you are using full coverage, any kind of things that could potentially clog your pores, cause any kind of irritation. You want to stay away if you are going to be doing threading, waxing, and shaving. My next one that I don't do, heavy concealer. You know how people draw a triangle right here? When you are pushing on 40, I would say don't do that, because it's going to really look heavy on your eyes. These days what I do is I do just dot, 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 and then I use like a flat, kind of like a kabuki brush, and I stipple it into my skin, and I take off the excess with a tissue, and then I go with a beauty blender and I blend it all in. You don't want to be drawing triangles like this, especially if you are dealing with a little bit of situation of fine wrinkles and lines and creases over here in this area. That will be like super duper noticeable. You know, if you go to the store and you ask them to give you like a concealer that won't crease under your eyes, I hate to break it to you, but I'm yet to find a concealer that will not crease under the eyes. And I'll explain why. Because maybe when you are 12, it won't crease under your eyes, just simply because of that youth of the skin and elasticity of the skin. But anybody after 12, any concealer will crease. And the heavier you went with concealer or powder, it will crease as well. So I would like stay away from heavy concealer. You know, I do love the Tarte Shape Tape. Okay, this is a super duper heavy concealer. If you just put a couple of dots and then blend it in, it will be perfect. If you go and draw the whole triangle with a heavy concealer, that's when we're talking creasing and problems. So that's something I no longer do. Another thing I no longer do, I still love Jordana pencils and I use them pretty much every day when I want to draw like an eyeliner situation in my lower lid. But I no longer use Jordana pencils to fill in my eyebrows because I've come to conclusion that it's a very harsh look. Basically, it's not a very precise pencil. Like, let me show you. You see, it's quite a thick line, so it's not that precise, and I need something that is like thin as a blade, you know, that's the level of precise I'm talking about, and this isn't. And so when I was doing that, I was really creating harsh lines here in my eyebrows, and I've stopped doing that. I'm going to attach my video on how I do my eyebrows these days, and the microblading effect that I had learned from Wayne Goss. Microblading effect, not microblading. I do it with makeup. I use Jordana pencils, I love them, but I no longer use them to fill the eyebrows. Maybe because I'm becoming a bit better with my makeup skills. Because I'm using these products day in, day out, I'm placing stricter demands on these products, and I just see that that's not working for me. So I, of course, want to come out to my viewers and share the situation, like, hey, this is what I have discovered. And that, my friends, would be all for today's video. I am sorry if I come across as a little bit serious in this video. I was just trying to make sure I share with you guys all of these points, and I hope that the tips I give you help you. This isn't in any way criticism on anyone else. If you love any of those techniques or doing threading, by all means, that's totally fine. I am just expressing my opinion. In no way, shape, or form does this affect you. I know that there are as many opinions as there are people, and I'm trying to just basically provide some useful and helpful tips. With all of that said, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Do sound off in the comment section down below if you want to see more of these types of videos, if you have had any kind of routines that you have changed and that you completely had like gone 180 degrees into the opposite direction. I would love to start the conversation going. If you want to see me do this makeup look, that to have a specific tutorial for this look, do sound off in the comments as well. I can do like a specific tutorial how I do the smoky eye, like step by step, and it's actually quite easy if you like this kind of look. And I will see you all in my next video, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I love you. Bye.